American food prices going up so fast are now passing laws to stop companies from controlling so much of the food and raising the supermarket prices. Restaurants hitting all-time record profits. Who's the winners? Who's the losers? Where are you going to pay more? Where are you going to pay less? Let's look at the wine, the beef, the coffee. It is all over the place. It is not stopping. This price is accelerating for everything we're going to buy and consume as food. Now, you know, there's a huge problem when the lawmakers themselves are passing legislation against the companies that gave them money through the lobbyists to get them into the halls of power. Here we go. Chuck Schumer, of all people, targets big meat packers with new grocery price bill. In blue, collectively, Tyson Foods, JBS, Cargill, and National Beef control 85% of the beef market and 67% of pork, 60% of chicken. This is the processing side of things. So when it makes it to the supermarket, they control the prices. There's only 4 of them. They can set price. They can monopolize. If it was 3, it'd be more obvious. They try to throw the 4th one like, oh, no, it's not a monopoly. Okay. This new bill, although it's going to take a while and it's past due and it'll be too late by the time it passes or doesn't, will require major meat packers to choose between operating in beef, pork, or chicken. Like they have to choose one. They can't dominate in all 3, and all 4 of these companies dominate all 3 together. They're going to have to choose A, B, or C, which means, well, some more companies will probably have to open up to cover that market share. And again, I would ask you about lead times with the tremendous shortages across the planet. Like, how do you start a new meat packing facility with whatever it is? You can't. That would take years from now, even if they could get the electricity there. Now this whole data center pulling every available watt, but you're supposed to give wattage back to a meatpacking facility. I thought the whole thing, don't eat beef, and the whole don't eat meat thing was still rolling along like a steamroller. This just goes to show what's on paper is you're looking at 3 to 5 years out before this would take effect anyway. So it's just somebody trying to give positive hope that something's being done about the food prices, but in actuality, you're going to have to prepare for this head-on collision. June, July, and August is when the real price rises are going to hit. If you think that you've seen prices rising so far, it hasn't begun yet. The beginning of it is June, July, and August, depending on where you are in the nation. And off of Meeting Place, love the title, beef prices continue climbing as USDA raises 2026 forecast. Yeah. The hopefulness is, well, they're now being priced in. USDA raised its now forecast for beef, and March to April from a year ago were almost 15% higher. Spoke to a guy I know out in Texas that sells cattle, got the highest prices ever for their farm. Good for them. Bad for your pocketbook, but where the supply and where the demand collide, here we go. Total U.S. consumption of beef, pork, and chicken is up in 2026. Supply is down in 2026. So we're saying, well, prices go up. Red line, chicken. And you can see that's pretty steadily increasing from the left of the chart in 2019. Just follow your eyes over to the current and the 2027 forecast here. Beef looks pretty much going to stay the same, maybe a little elevated, and pork exactly the same pretty much. So you can see where the forecast is. So if you were going to try to buy something that's not going to rise in price as much, which one do you think it would be? My guess is going to stay on pork because, well, it's leveled and it doesn't seem like it's increasing. So the supply and demand is more balanced. Where beef, that's up and up. So who's the winner and loser in this thing here? The CPI Consumer Price Index, select food at home items like you buy in the supermarket, come home, prepare yourself, eat it at home. Fresh vegetables up, coffee up, beef up, peanut butter, fish and seafood up, bread, and I'm just going down the list here. And at the very bottom here, we get into the rice and pastas. Okay, that's a good one because it hasn't gone up that much. So you're just looking at the chart here and try to mitigate your spending or slow down your spending somehow. Here's what your financial advisor won't tell you. By the time the news tells you to buy gold, it's too late. You're waiting. I get it. Everybody's waiting to see if the ceasefire holds, waiting to see if the Strait of Hormuz reopens, waiting to see what happens next. But gold isn't waiting for you. It moves on fear and instability into the unknown, and it moves faster than you can react. So while you're waiting for certainty, the rest of the world is planning for what comes next. You can wait or you can prepare. You can't do both. Remember, the best time to put on a seatbelt is before the accident, not after. If you're ready to act, reach out to Noble Gold Investments. They help Americans protect their savings with a physical gold and silver shipped to your door or held in a tax-advantaged IRA. No taxes, no penalties to roll over a 401k or existing IRA. Visit 2030gold.com and download your free wealth protection kit today. That's 2030gold.com. The rules are changing. Make sure you're ready. And the May Gold Bonus for a limited time offer a free 10th ounce gold coin for all new qualified accounts. Please note, coin selection is based on available inventory. Again, that's 2030gold.com. Click on that link in the description box below. So off the chart, the fastest way to slow down your spending is grow your own food, because fresh vegetables are the number one thing rising in price. Grow your own. Then you could actually trade with neighbors if you have extra, because everybody loves fresh veg. You could trade something, and don't think about just lettuce, grow other things as well. Higher up the value chain, think about medicinal teas, that sort of thing. If you're going to be growing your own, flowers turn into teas, or some sort of the plant can also be used as a tea. Higher up the chain you go, the more you can trade. And at the same time, somebody's always going to, bounce out in front. Cheesecake Factory, these are the companies that have the highest profits so far, 471%. So somebody's raising the prices where everybody's complaining online about the food they're buying when they're going out, or fast food, just getting absurdly ridiculous. $20 for somebody to eat at a fast food joint. This is the same what we're looking at here, the pricing. Wingstop, Jack in the Box, Chipotle, Texas Roadhouse. I don't really see McDonald's on here or Taco Bell, these sort of things, but I do see Domino's. I was surprised to see that one. These are the companies that are dominating and raising their prices when you go in the store, but then that reflects right there to the shareholders and the amount of profits coming in. Good for some. Again, there's always going to be a winner and a loser somewhere. Now, food prices have risen more than wages overall. And if we look from 2019 to May 2024, food and beverages just continue. And I'm not going to leave you hanging. Let's extend and continue the chart, at least in Canada. Yellow line is a continuation of the food CPI. Up and up through 2025 into 26, and that is going nowhere but up. The Loch Ness Monster shall return. Let's look at food inflation amongst the G7 countries. And again, I would ask you to look at the numbers, and do you believe the numbers? UK, 3.7% food inflation. Well, I see just tremendous amounts of videos, people complaining that the food is so far out of reach now. In Canada, 3.5%, America at 3.2%. And I would ask you, Americans here, when you go to the supermarket, have you seen your food prices go up 3.2%, or have you seen them go up 10, 20, 50%? I would say the latter with my own eyes. And Japan not reporting yet, but they're having a currency crisis, so maybe they're going to hold off on that. But the good news, these are the items that have decreased in price. Frozen fruits and vegetables, that's awesome. You can cook those at home. The flash freezing technologies we have today lock in all the nutrients. That is a very good other choice than the fresh veg. If you get it frozen, choose your favorite supplier, do a little research, see which one fits your needs. And then eggs at the bottom have dropped the most, 21%. So hopefully these charts provide you a small workaround. So you can already see, follow the trends on these. Whatever is going to continue up will continue up. The ones that are continuing down, they might stabilize and then reverse course up again. But for right now, the trend is down on these same items. So if you only have a limited amount of cash and you want to see how you're going to spend it or how you can spend it most efficiently, use these charts. If fresh veg is going up that much, just substitute the frozen. I know a lot of people are going to chastise me for that, but we're in the real world. Frozen peas are as good as fresh peas if you're going to be cooking something, right, in a realistic fashion. Frozen broccoli is going to be as good as fresh broccoli. I'm telling you, the freezing technology, these flash freeze technologies they have now are outstanding. Because moving forward, you're going to be preparing foods at home more. With these restaurant prices just skyrocketing to the point of unaffordability, even this fast food, we're being pushed to cook at home again, very much like we were in 2022. Restaurants closed, people had to change their lifestyles. Well, this is doing it now because of price, not because of forced mandates. Same, but different, as I've heard it said before. Jumping over to some Brazilian coffee farms, wonderful, beautiful. Electric geology in front of you. Let's look at coffee futures dropping. Now, all the forecasts are Brazil is going to have this like incredible record harvest because they've had so much rain. So with the rains being plentiful, coffee is going to be plentiful this year. So that will drop. Most forecasts are showing below 250. So sub 250 on that. Coffee prices should come down. Now, again, how long will it be before that reflects in the supermarket? Probably not, because it'll say there was a supply chain disruption, the backup, this, that, and the other. 6 months from now, we might see 3 cents off or whatever. Let's go over to the wine. Vineyards, California. What's happening here, and I can't believe the titles, California's crippled wine industry hitting rock bottom. So this is just another validation that something's very, very wrong with everything food and beverage wise, including production levels. So the prices are dropping in real estate faster than the appraisers can get out to reappraise an estate. That's kind of unthinkable, where these types of estates would have somebody on call that could come out literally within 1 to 3 days, give you an assessment. These are multi-million dollar properties. It's not like you selling, your $300,000, $400,000 house, $500,000 house. $30 million for this, somebody's on call. I'm taking a commission. They're going to appraise it. Let's get it on. They can't even get them out there. That is how fast the prices are changing downward. So what's happening is they're getting margin called, basically, where troubled sales, as in these vineyards that have dropped in price so fast against what their loans are, can't produce enough income, and they're being pressured. You see that equipment in the background there? Yeah, they're starting to sell that off to pay their debts. It literally is a fire sale. Very low prices. We think it'll stabilize, but not this year. So they're already telling you in earnest, these very large money players across the vineyards in California, like that's big money buying these properties and selling them, that it's not going away this year. We got a lot more months left in this year. And then if it rolls into 2027, and here's the big kicker on this one. They believe the industry will be about a third smaller than it was when it was at its apex last year. A third smaller. These are like trophy properties. And for this to be said here, there's something terribly wrong. I mean, terribly wrong. That these types of properties are going to go that far underwater that it's a fire sale and everything. As you see these slides here, I'm going to try to dig in a little more, because this is the biggest canary in the coal mine for the rest of the markets. Like regular housing markets, in city A, B, or C, okay, it's its own metric. But when you're coming to these massive estates, this is a huge, huge red flag on something in the real estate market. If this goes first, it's going to drag everything else down with it. And this is again, look at this as the first set of dominoes to fall. If they're talking into 2027, then that means the regular real estate, mom and pop real estate, is going to fall behind this. Probably won't clean up until 28 or 29. That's a long time to wait. Speaking of growing your own food, True Leaf Market, heirloom and organic seeds for any grow zone on the planet. That's trueleafmarket.com. That link's in the description box below. Click on it. It helps support the channel. Anything you buy there, and you can support your families too. Grow your own. Please share with your friends and families. Speaking of families, share the link. You're going to have to copy it and paste it. Also, click the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, share this with others. Feel free to cut pieces out, reshape it, whatever, and get the message out. We all need solutions right now. So I will see you next time. Bye for now.